One. PBZ Sports Chaos. We're coming back at you, fans. We are still social distancing. As you can see, my boy PB is somewhere in. You're in FLA?
I am in FLA, still in Southern Florida.
All right. Hey, by the way, PB, what weekend is this?
This would have been the Masters weekend.
Oh, man.
Instead, we're not even sitting home. We can't even say we're sitting home watching it on TV because there is no Masters. So,
but it's gonna be made up, right? In November sometime, correct?
Is that the official word?
The official word right now is sometime around November 12th, 13th, 14th, somewhere in that time frame. We will have a Masters, so we'll see, man. All right.
All right.
Let's get right into this. Let's do a 2-minute drill. Today, officially, here we are, April 11th, 1 month, 30 days and counting without sports anywhere in the world. Maybe a UFC fight, but we don't really care. But it's been 1 month since we've had hockey, basketball, baseball now, and football, of course. DYK, this is the longest stretch since no sports have ever happened. Since when, PB?
Probably World War II, I'm guessing.
You would be incorrect. 1984 during the MLB strike.
Oh, all right.
51 days.
Good one.
All right. Hey, by the way, also yesterday on the 10th, 1989, Junior. You know who I'm talking about, don't you? Junior Griffey?
Ken Griffey Jr.?
Yes, he hit his first home run on the first pitch he saw in his first home game ever. But you know what's more amazing about that, PB? 11 years later, on the same day, in 2000, first pitch, he hit his 400th home run. That's incredible. First and 400th, those are milestone home runs, correct?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, man. All right. Hey, speaking of baseball, this dude, Mark Reynolds, you familiar with him, PB?
Yes, I've heard the name.
Yeah, he's an average Joe. Played first base for the Orioles and about 10 other teams. He retired yesterday, but do you know what he's famous for? He has three times struck out 200 times in the season. Only 13 guys have done that. 200 times in a season they struck out. He's done it 3 times. Unbelievable. He probably should have retired. All right, moving on. Hey, PB, the latest news on Major League Baseball. You hear this one? They're going to start up possibly.
Yeah, they're looking to try down here, down in Florida. Well, Florida and Arizona.
Yeah. Do you hear what they're going to do?
Yeah, they were going to play in their minor league parks with no fans, right?
Yes. And get this. The Red Sox would be playing in the South Division or League or whatever you want to call it, in the Grapefruit League, South Division, with Atlanta, Baltimore, Tampa, and no Yankees. Is that blasphemy? How can you have that, right? I don't know, man. All right. Who knows? Hey, big weekend in the NBA. 2K 2020 takes place this week. We talked about it last week. Do you care?
No.
I don't either. All right. What about this one? The Horse Virtual Challenge. HORSE. We played it all the times as kids. Paul Pierce is in. I got my money on Paul Pierce. What do you think about this thing?
Again, don't care.
All right. Moving on. Hey, by the way, great news came out the other night. Jules is not going to prison. Julian Edelman. He jumped on a Mercedes-Benz. You own a Mercedes-Benz, PB. He jumped on it in a drunken stupor one night. The owner said, no big deal. He's letting him off. Jules won't go to prison. What do you think of that?
It's good. Maybe he'll catch some balls next year.
Speaking of Julian, his partner in crime, what's his name? The other guy that he's famous for being a partner with?
TB.
Tom Brady, yes. Apparently, he's trademarked a couple things right now, right? TB times TB. What do you think of that one?
Yeah, I heard some stuff on the news even as early as this morning. He's trying to. It's called Tomper Bay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Tampa Brady. Oh my God.
It's going
all right, moving on. Hey, I got to ask you one question, PB. We have a little talk show here. We talk about sports all the time. You and I know sports. How the freak does Howard Stern get a 2-hour interview with Tom Brady? Howard Stern knows nothing about sports.
It's a joke, right?
Oh, my, and Brady revealed all, right?
I don't know.
Oh, my God. All right. Moving on. Hey, by the way, you know Howard Stern, he's a little raunchy. Do you think he asked about Gisele's breast?
Probably not, I'm going to say. But Tom Brady wouldn't entertain it.
No, he wouldn't. But I think Howard might have said something. All right. Hey,
he'd
PB.
just laugh it off. Move on. Yeah.
This is the Masters weekend. There is no Masters. Today would have been moving on day, as we know, right? It did not happen. By the way, a famous day today, April 11th, Jack Nicklaus, he won the first back-to-back ever Masters championship in 1966. And then a guy named Phil Mickelson, you remember him, a little lefty? He won his first ever in 04, correct?
Yeah, he's won 2 since. He's got 3 altogether. Masters.
And he won his other one in 2010 on this day. Lucky day for him. All right, PB, you get some Masters stuff first. Give us to it. You're the golf man.
Well, you talked about the back-to-back with Nicklaus. There's only been 2 other golfers to win back-to-back Masters. Want to venture to guess who those are?
What? It wasn't – was it Tiger? I don't think it was Tiger ever.
Yeah, Tiger did win back-to-back.
Oh, it was 04, 05? Was that what it was?
I'm not sure on the years, but he won back-to-back. And the other one was
Palmer?
Nick Faldo.
Nick Faldo, really?
Yes.
Oh, I would not have guessed that.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting, too, a little bit about the green jacket. So you know how the previous champion is the golfer that gives the jacket or puts the jacket on the winner.
Right.
Well, when Nick was 66, he was the first time winning back-to-back. Nobody put his jacket on because he won from the year before, so he just basically donned his own jacket. But when Tiger won and when Faldo won, but when Tiger won and Faldo won, what they did was they had the commissioner of the chairman, I should say, of the Masters put the jackets on them the years that they won back-to-back. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
And what's more with the green jacket too, maybe some people don't know this, but you're not supposed to, it's supposed to stay in the clubhouse. I believe you can keep it for a year if you win the tournament, but you're not supposed to wear it outside the grounds of the club. So you can keep it in your house, show people, whatever, but you have to bring it back and give it back to the clubhouse a year later. And then it stays at the clubhouse, because that's the thing about the Masters in the clubhouse is that you wear your jacket as when you're a member, you have a jacket and you wear the jacket on the grounds, and you automatically become an honorary member when you win the Masters. So they have a jacket there. So anytime they go to Augusta, they can put that jacket on and wear it on the grounds of the course.
All right, hang on. Let me just make sure I get a handle on this. So if I won the tournament in 2019, God forbid, I could keep that jacket for 1 year. Then 2020, today, if the tournament happened, I have to give the jacket back. I'll put it in my locker. I can wear it for the whole ceremonies, and it stays in that locker until next year. I can never touch it again.
Yeah, you're right. You can't. But it's still your property. And there is a story. There's maybe like 4 or 5 green jackets that actually aren't there. They're in some other type of Hall of Fame or something like that have found their way out of the clubhouse and never got returned. But for the most part, that's a general rule. I'm sure it's a gentleman's rule type thing, but that's the rule with the green jacket, which I thought was kind of
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, who knew, Phoenix? I had no idea the green jacket was so sacred it couldn't leave the holy grounds of Augusta. All right.
Yeah.
Anything else, PB?
Well, a couple of another DYK for you. What do you think the first Masters was 1934, right?
Yes.
Guess what the winning golfer's purse was for the 1934 Masters?
I'm going to say $2,000.
You're pretty close. 1,500. 15.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
$1,500.
Things
All
have
right.
changed a lot since then. By the way, Nicholas has had the most. He's had 6. Tigers had 5, right?
Yeah.
And then you have Arnold Palmer had 4.
Arnie. Oh, okay.
And then there's a whole host. There's a host of golfers that have had 3. There's like a half dozen or so. Among them is Phil Mickelson. So
Is Arnie the only one that has a drink named after him?
I think so. Yeah, maybe.
All right. What else you got? Anything else?
I think that's it on the Masters.
All right.
Some NFL. What do we say?
All right. Let's do the NFL. The draft is going to continue. I know people are saying NFL maybe shouldn't do stuff. I'm okay with it. 2 weeks away, right? 2 weeks from today. Or 2 weeks from Thursday, I'm sorry. And the Cincinnati Bengals have the number 1 pick. Is Joe Burrow lock?
I would say it's about a 95% chance that he's going to go to Cincinnati.
And number 2 belongs to the Washington Redskins. Everybody's talking about Chase from Ohio State.
Yep.
Is that a no-brainer?
I think that's a no-brainer. He's the best defensive player, game changer. You gotta go with that. I mean, they're putting their stock in. I guess they're going to put their stock in Haskins, right?
Right. I got one thing to say about Chase. So he got suspended during this past season. He came back from his suspension. He had 3 sacks against Penn State. After that, he was a no-show against Wisconsin, Michigan, Wisconsin, and then the playoff game against Clemson. No sacks. So my decision on him is I think he could be a very good talent. He's 6'6". I think he's undersized for his weight. If they can't put some meat on him, I'm a little bit worried, but we'll see. All right, what else you got?
I think the biggest interesting thing here is then you got the Lions picking at 3. So the question is, will they pick at 3 or will they trade out of that pick? You're going to have Tua on the board. You're going to have Herbert on the board. 2 big-time quarterbacks at teams like the Chargers and the Dolphins, the Jaguars. They're all teams that are looking for a quarterback. So what do you think the Lions are going to do at 3?
So we talked about this briefly last week. Does Matty P, does he make a deal with his boy, Billy B? Is it possible? They've done 4 trades since he's been there. I don't know. Conceivably, I could see it. You can move down if they were them and get somebody else at 5th or 6th. That means the Pats have to move up. So I don't know if the Pats can be the team that moves up to get that pick. Ideally, we'd love to see it. I could see Detroit moving down to somebody else, though, and giving up something else to get maybe the 7th pick and giving up the 3rd. So I wouldn't be surprised. Let's put it that way.
All right. I feel the same way. I think there's a chance they might try it out of that pick. They could get some other good picks for it. Yep.
What about your Dolphins, your new home team, right? You got season tickets.
Yeah, I'm picking.
Do they move up?
So, I mean, I think the Dolphins right now, they're definitely looking for a quarterback. The question is, are they going to go the Tua route or are they going to go the Herbert route? If they want to go, you get the Giants picking at 4. They got Daniel Jones, right? They're locked in at quarterback. They're not taking a quarterback. So
no.
If Chase Young does go at number 2, you're getting either Tua or Herbert without having to make a move. So the real question just becomes if they have their mindset and they're locked in on, let's say, a Tua at that point, they may make a deal with the Lions to get up to number 3. Same thing if they're locked in on Herbert because they might not want to risk that pick going out otherwise.
So if you're the Lions and the Dolphins want to get the 2nd best quarterback in the draft, would you not be out there aggressively pursuing a trade with them?
That's what I mean.
You have to, right?
That's right. That's another why I think Detroit may try out of that. Pick up Miami's got plenty of picks to give up here. They got 14 picks in the draft overall. They have 3 in the first round. They have 4 in the first 40 picks, first 39 picks, right? So
yeah,
why not, play around with those a little bit, give the Lions some more ammunition to make some other picks. and then move up and get the quarterback of your choice.
Because at the end of the day, the Lions, if they give up the third pick, that it's going to be a quarterback. So that means they're going to get a defensive player. It's either going to be the cornerback they want, Akua or whatever his name is from Ohio State, or the kid from Clemson, who I personally would prefer is that kid from Clemson. So if the cornerback's off the boards, the Lions have to take the other kid, and that's a better pick in my mind. They win. So we'll see. I don't know. All right.
Yeah. Unless what happens if the Giants scoop him up, though, at 4, and then he's not around at 5, because you're going to basically probably swap 3 and 5, right? So the Lions would pick 5th. They just have to make sure that
so the Giants are going to take one of the 2 defensive players left, either the cornerback that the Lions would like or the linebacker for Clemson. Either way, you still win. You get one or the other, because Miami's taking a quarterback either way at number 3, right?
Right.
So you give up one of 2. I think it's a win-win. If I'm them, I would do it all day long. All right. I got to ask you a question. A move was made the other night. Brandon Cooks coming back. The Rams going to the Texans. Is that a good move? After they gave up D. Hopkins?
Yeah, I mean, they got to have somebody that can stretch the field with Hopkins gone, and Cooks can probably do that for them. Deshaun Watson likes to chuck the ball around that way. So I think he could fit in pretty well into that system there.
I would agree with you. I think it's a pretty good deal. By the way, I can't believe the Texans have now given up their first, second, and third round draft pick this year. But they did acquire another second round and a third round draft pick. PB, we talked about this a week ago or 2 weeks ago. I forget when it was. Is Bill O'Brien the worst GM or the worst coach in football? Which one is he? He's one or the other.
Yeah, I mean, the Texans keep winning. I mean, they keep winning that division. They keep making the playoffs. They have for several years in a row now. But they can't get over the hump, right? They can't win so to speak. I don't even know if they've gotten out of the first round of the playoffs. Maybe they have once, but they have a tough time, right? And that division is getting more competitive. I mean, the Titans are going to be better. The Colts are going to be better. You know, the Jaguars are the Jaguars. I don't know what's going to happen there, but you've got 3 legitimate playoff teams now in that division with the Colts, the Texans, and the Titans.
Yes. Let me ask you a question. Right now, as we look into the draft, and we'll talk more about this over the next 2 weeks, so the draft is 2 weeks from this past Thursday. What team give me 3 teams in your mind are set up to improve themselves next year tremendously?
Well, again, putting Dolphins right at the top of that list. They got, 4 picks in the first, 39, right?
And you said last week they had the best free agency picks, which I agree with you.
They had a great free agency. If they land a franchise quarterback like they're going to do, and I think we should talk about Tua and Herbert, really who's a better fit there. But I think that team's really poised to be one of the most improved teams going into next year.
All right, give me number 2, and then we'll talk about the other 2, and we'll talk in your third pick in the second one.
And we're not talking just as a result of the draft. We're just talking just based on everything else that's going on with the team.
Who can improve themselves the most?
Yeah, I think the Steelers could be an improved team.
Ooh, PB, I like your thought. Me too. I like it, man.
Yeah, I think the Steelers they've made a few moves in free agency.
They did.
They got their draft to go through. We obviously had a bad season last year. They also had some injuries last year. They had problems with signings and everything else. So all that stuff is kind of behind them now, and I think they'll compete next year. Another team beyond that, I'm going to go with the Arizona Cardinals. It's going to be.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah.
I got one for you, PB. What about the 49ers? 49ers right now, they actually have the 12th pick in the draft and the 31st pick in the draft. And they were in the Super Bowl last year.
Well, that's what I was getting, but there's not much room for improvement. I mean, you're in the Super Bowl.
You can afford to have that kind of luxury when you're a championship team, right?
I know, but what do you think? They're going to be 14-2 and win the Super Bowl next year? I mean, how can you improve on a 12-4 season and go to the Super Bowl?
Well, where was their weakness last year in your mind?
certainly wasn't the defense. I mean, I know their offensive system worked.
They lost Sanders.
They didn't really have they didn't have a good running back. they had a mismatch of running backs. They kind of were kind of playing the Patriot way in a way, right? They didn't really have a guy who could pound it. So maybe running the ball.
I would say this: if they can get one of those receivers, whether it's Ruggs, Judy, or CeeDee Lamb, man, watch out.
Okay.
They lost Emmanuel Sanders. He's gone, right? He left the team.
All right. Who are your other two?
My other two, believe it or not, well, the Dolphins, you already mentioned, but I think the Raiders, they get the 11th pick and they get the 19th pick. And they got a great coach, John Gruden. I don't know, man. And they made we talked about during the free agency show we did a couple weeks back. They made a couple good signings there. I don't know. I'm a little bit wary of Gruden. I'm not a fan of his, but I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I just think the Raiders, their system's broken right now. I don't know how many years they're going to give him to turn around. They gave him a 10-year contract, right? Now he's going to his third year, is it?
Yeah.
In that contract? Yeah, he's got to do something. The team's just been kind of pathetic, really. Do you think they might try to grab a quarterback?
They might. They signed Mariota. They got Derek Carr already. They got Mariota in the wing. You're right. But he loves Mariota. We'll see. I don't know. He's got 2 picks in the first round.
Yeah.
Gruden he's a wild card, man. I don't know. I'm wary of him. I'm very, very wary of him. All right. Let's talk about Tua right now. Tua and the Oregon quarterback, Herbert, and then Jordan Love, who some people say is better than Herbert. What's your thoughts right now? If you were a general manager, who would you draft? If you had all three on the board still.
Yeah, I mean, Love. I saw Utah State play in their bowl game. I saw him in the combine and stuff. I just don't have enough real on-field watching game experience with Love to make a good opinion on him like I can with, Tua and even Herbert to some extent, but Tua a ton, right? I mean, Alabama's on every weekend pretty much. You can watch
right.
So, and that guy did some amazing things out of that position. He could be Patrick Mahomes-esque in a way, Tua can, right? Whereas, Herbert is more of like a, Carson Wentz or type quarterback, or, I see him even a Josh Allen, maybe even kind of quarterback. I don't know, but you get him in the right system. He's a big kid. He's 6'6", he's 240. Tua is 6'1", right? Tua is
right.
He's 215. He's like Kyler Murray. He's small. I mean, he's bigger than Kyler Murray, obviously, but
everybody is.
Everybody. But I don't know. I'm still kind of old school in the sense that I like the more prototypical type NFL quarterbacks, and I think Herbert fits that category a little bit more than Tua does. So
I will say this.
I think Herbert goes ahead of Tua.
Ooh, all right. So interesting news the other day. Trent Dilfer, the quarterback whisperer. He was not the greatest quarterback in the world. He did win a Super Bowl. God forbid how he did it. I don't know. But he came out and said Tua is, in his opinion, similar to Dan Marino and Aaron Rodgers.
Wow. Okay.
That's high praise, right?
That's very high praise.
I will say this about Jordan Love. I know a lot of people, according ESPN, are starting to like him a lot more. Only thing I don't like about Jordan Love, he is that long delivery. He's got the sweeping, and then he flips it. I don't know. He doesn't have that Dan Marino flip the dot delivery.
Yeah.
I think Justin Herbert has a little bit of that.
And that's a recipe for disaster in the NFL.
I agree. Yeah. He's athletic. I think Herbert, to your opinion, Paul, I like Herbert. He's 6'4". He's a tough kid. I know he's not outgoing, but Brady wasn't outgoing, and look what he did, right?
Yeah. He's 6'6", actually.
Yes.
He's a big dude. Yeah.
He's a big dude, so we'll see. But on the other hand, Tua is phenomenal. He came in and replaced Jalen Hurts in the national championship game as a freshman in the second half and won the title. He's got some big gonads, as they say. So I don't know. We'll see. More to follow. What else you got? Anything else?
All right. No, that's it. I think we're good for this week, and we're getting close to the draft. So next week we can do maybe a mock first 10 picks or something, and then we can talk about the draft the following week.
All right, man. I appreciate it. You stay safe down there. We'll talk to you later, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, PBNZ, Sports Chaos. We're signing off, fans. Have a good weekend.
All right, dude.